Can you believe it? It's been a year since Parasite won Best Pictures in the Oscars. Parasite made history by becoming the first Korean film, the first Asian film to win Best Picture last February 9, 2020. Honestly, it's probably one of the few good things that happened last year. So, what makes this film so good? Well, I could list every single thing about the film to answer that million-dollar question. I mean, where should I even begin? I could probably start from the terrific performances of the actors, or the outstanding production design, or the symbolisms in the film, or the very relevant social commentaries, and really, I could go on for days and days. But for today, in order to commemorate the winning anniversary of Parasite, we will be talking about its fantastic story structure and a bit of the metaphorical symbolisms and social commentaries. Hey there, and welcome back to Flick and Chips, where we talk about movies that you hate, movies that you love, and all movies in between. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon to be notified each time we upload. It's not a secret that Bong Joon-ho is a master of genre and tone. His previous films, Memories of Murder in 2003 and Mother in 2009, can definitely attest to that. But with Parasite, he went all out. In order for you to see how immaculate and well-constructed Parasite is, we will be breaking down the film into 3 acts. At the start of the film, we see a very interesting family trying to leech off from their neighbor's Wi-Fi. With those first few minutes of the film, you'd know right off the bat that this film would have some comedy in it. The Kims are composed of Ki Taek, the father, Chung Sok, the mother, Ki Jung, the sister, and Ki Woo, the brother. As a whole, they are one chaotic family, and their social standing in life seems to have made them really cunning. When Ki Woo's friend Min went to their mid-basement house to bring what seems to be a very expensive stone, you'd remember Ki Woo exclaiming, "It's metaphorical." Now, Bong Joon-ho inserted that dialogue for a reason, because the stone is indeed metaphorical. And by the latter part of this video, we will be explaining why, so just keep on watching. Min wasn't just there to give the stone to the Kims. He was there for another reason. He needed Ki Woo to substitute for him as a tutor for a wealthy student. At first, Ki Woo doubted himself, thinking that he's not qualified enough for the job. But Min reassured him, and he even said the mother of the student was, quote-unquote, simple, which simply means that she's gullible. With that, Ki Woo accepted the job. And that's where things get interesting. When he got to the Park family's house, Ki Woo was this totally different person. He went from this to this. He acted smart, he talked smart, and no one even suspected a thing. Not her, or her. It just proves how surprisingly good Ki Woo is in playing pretend. But he wasn't the only one, because the whole Kim family managed to one by one hack and infiltrate their way into this wealthy household. Ki Jung became this badass art teacher, but Ki Woo and Ki Jung infiltrating the Park household wasn't enough. Nope, it had to be the whole family. Well, you can't blame them, they needed the money. Hence, they were so determined to get rid of her and him. And so they did. Ki Taek became this very dignified driver, Chung Sok became this sophisticated and soft-spoken housemaid. They were masters of the art of deception. What drove them to do what they did was money. It was the desire to alleviate their social standing in life. But by doing so, they became parasites. When the Park family went on a camping trip, the Kim family had the whole house for themselves. They acted as if it was their own house, savoring the feeling of being rich. At this point, you'd think it's one fantastic satire comedy film. But then, the doorbell rang. With just that, the tone of the film changed. When Chung Sok got to the door, she was greeted by a very disoriented Moon Gwang, the former housemaid of the Park family. She told Chung Suk that she forgot something in the basement, saying that she'll just be quick. Chung Suk was very adamant to this, but she still let Moon Gwang in. When they got down, Chung Suk, with her family behind her, discovered a secret basement. And there, lo and behold, was an estranged man living under the basement all along. Another parasite of the film. With that, you know this film is no longer just a satire comedy film. Its tone has completely changed. The film has transitioned into a thriller film. That's Bong Joon-ho for you. This is where the second act begins, and it is where things will go downhill for the Kim family. Chong-suk threatens to report Moon Gwang and her husband to the Park family, but your girl Moon Gwang has a reverse Uno card. Moon Gwang threatens the Kim family with a video of them after finding out their devious scheme. Of course, the Kim family felt powerless since Moon Gwang was just one click away from putting them all into jail. But this is the Kim family we're talking about. They've done so much to reach where they are right now, so you can be sure they won't give up without a fight. The family attacked the couple, and it turned into one chaotic rumble. And of course, the couple was outnumbered. Plus, Ki-jung, being the badass bitch that she is, attacked Moon Gwang with peaches. Honestly, the peaches are the true heroes. Ki-woo got a hold of Moon Gwang's phone and he was about to delete the video. But then, the phone rang. The Park family were minutes away from arriving. Uh-oh. In those few minutes, they scampered away to clean up their mess and to drag Moon Gwang and her husband into the basement. I bet you guys can agree that this was one of the best scenes in the whole film because it depicted how similar they are to cockroaches, hiding into darkness once the owner of the house has arrived. And just like cockroaches, they hid. And they hid good. So they waited until they had the chance to leave. But when they did, heavy rain came pouring down on them. They looked so pitiful as they walked back to their house, which was flooded by rain. Gone was the luxury that they were enjoying hours ago. At the end of the day, they are still just frauds. And this was their reality. As we can see here, the stone was floating. True stones don't float. Which just means that the stone was as fake as they were. It was truly a metaphor to fake wealth. Their wealth, the status they've acquired for themselves, was just an illusion. The film went from comedy to thriller and now to drama. The next day, they all went back to the Park household because they still had work to do. But gone was the happy demeanor on their faces. Was it because of the flood, or was it because of the realization that there will always be a gap between them and the parks? This gap was exemplified even more while Ki-taek was driving and Yeon-kyo grimaced when she got a whiff of the stench coming from him. Ki-taek saw how she scowled, and it triggered something within him. Smell is another symbolism in this film, because it can symbolize the social status of one's life. The smell of the Kims and the smell of the Parks are one of the things that separate them from each other. The poor and the rich. A lot of other things went down from this point. The lunatic husband of Moon Gwang smashed the stone to Ki-woo's head and then stabbed Ki-jung. This dude is in a killing spree, but we can't really blame the guy since his wife kinda died because of Chong-suk. And then Da-song started convulsing. It was chaotic to say the least. But you know what's the very thing that triggered Ki-taek to stab Mr. Park to death? The smell. The way Mr. Park scowled at the stench definitely triggered Ki-taek. And now we have reached the third act. At this point, Ki-jung has already died. Ki-woo and Chong-suk were lucky enough to get away with their probation. After stabbing Mr. Park, Ki-taek hid, and you know where he hid? He hid in the basement. To lose one's moral senses and bring harm to another is one of the lowest acts any human can do. And so, the basement represents Ki-taek very well, figuratively and literally. He hid there for days, months, years. At the end of the film, there's this scene where Ki-woo became successful and was able to buy the house. He did that in order to finally let his father out from the basement. But then the film reveals that that was just his wishful thinking. As we all know, parasites are organisms that inflict harm to the body of their host. In this film, the parasites were people. They were a family. More than anything, this film proved how humans can also be parasites. and how we can also inflict pain and suffering to others. And that's Parasite, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment on your thoughts about this movie. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe to be up to date with our movie musings here on Flick and Chips. See you next time!